In this lesson on plagiarism and citation, I want to focus specifically on summaries, paraphrases, and quotations, which are usually how we use information from our sources in writing. Keep in mind as we go through this information that the citations come from the MLA style of citation. First, let's look at summaries. A summary is the main idea of a paragraph, passage, or book that is put into your own words. Summaries are typically a single sentence to a few sentences in length. For example, for a paragraph or short passage of 1 or 2 pages, you should be able to summarize the main idea in a single sentence. However, for passages that are much longer, or chapters or books, you may need a few sentences in order to express the main idea clearly. Summaries include the author's last name, the title of the article, or the title of the book or website as identifying information. Summaries do not include page numbers. Since an entire work or section of work is being summarized, it is not usually limited to a single page, and people tend to understand that summaries cover larger ideas rather than ideas listed specifically on a page. In a writing passage, summaries can be cited in 2 ways. First, simply include the citation information in the sentence. Then, you don't need to put parentheses at the end, so no parenthetical citation is needed. So you can look at this example and see that the author's name starts the sentence and then the summary is written out. Or, you can give the idea in the sentence and put the citation information in parentheses at the end of the sentence, inside the period. So here you can see the summary is given in the sentence, then in parentheses, the author's name, Goldberg, is listed, then the period. Now let's look at paraphrases. A paraphrase is the essential idea of a sentence or small group of sentences that is put into your words. Paraphrases are typically the same length as the original information, and paraphrases are most effective for short pieces of information that is about 1 to 3 sentences in length. For anything longer than that, you might want to consider a summary. Paraphrases include the author's last name, the title of the article, or the title of the book or website, and a page number if one is available, as its identifying information. Now, paraphrases from websites do not include page numbers since websites don't usually have page numbers. However, if the paraphrase is taken from an online document with page numbers, then give that page number. So in other words, the basic principle is if you see a page number in the source that you are paraphrasing, include the page number in your citation. If you don't see a page number, don't include one. Like with summaries, paraphrases can be cited in 2 ways. First, you include the name or the title in the sentence, and then the page number is given in parentheses at the end. So you can see from this example, again, the author's name starts the sentence, the paraphrase is given, and then the page number, 309, is included in parentheses inside the period. Second, you can give the idea in the sentence and put all of the citation information in parentheses at the end. So by looking at this example, you see the paraphrased information in the actual sentence, then the author's name, Goldberg, and the page number, 309, is placed inside parentheses, inside the period, at the end of the sentence. Now let's look at quotations, or quotes as many people call them. A quotation is the exact words of someone reproduced exactly in another piece of writing. Quotations are actually to be avoided as much as possible. It's always better to use a paraphrase if you can, because that shows 1, that you understand the author's words, and 2, that you have the proficiency to express ideas in your own way. Only use a quotation if the original words are too technical to be paraphrased, or the author's phrasing is more specific, poetic, or powerful than a paraphrase. When you use quotations, they include quotation marks around the original words, the author's last name, the title of the article, or the title of the book or website, and page number as identifying information. If you leave out any of this information, it could be considered plagiarism in many cases. Like with paraphrases, quotations from websites do not include page numbers, again, since websites don't usually have page numbers. But also, if you see a page number in an online document, you do want to include it in the citation. Just like with summaries and paraphrases, quotations can be cited in two ways. First, include the name or title in the sentence, then the page number is given in parentheses. So you see in this example, the author's name starts the sentence. The quote is actually started in the middle of the sentence and goes all the way to the end, and the page number, 309, is in parentheses, inside the period, inside the end quotation marks. Now you might be wondering why that W is in brackets. That is because in the original source, the W is capitalized. I made a grammatical change so that this sentence is grammatically correct. I did not change the meaning. You are not allowed to change the meaning when you quote something, but you can change the grammar to make it fit into the sentence you are using. Whenever you make a grammatical change, you have to put that change in brackets. The second way that you can cite a quotation is to give the idea in the sentence and put the quotation or put the citation information in parentheses at the end. So you can see from this sentence that the quotation starts right from the beginning of the sentence, and the author's name and page number are listed in parentheses at the end, again inside the period and inside the quotation marks. And here you notice the W is not in brackets. That is because, just like in the original, the W is capitalized here. So how do you know when to use an author's last name, the title of an article, or the title of a website? Well, first, remember that in-text citations are signals to the reader for how to find information at the end of a passage. So whatever you have in the text is the first thing the reader should see in the works cited section. Sources are typically listed by the author's last name. So if the author's name is listed, then use the author's last name in the text. And you can see this is the same example we used earlier in the presentation. You have the author's last name and the page number. However, sometimes there is not an author given for a source. If this is the case, if an author is not given for a source, as happens with many online sources, use the title of the article. This title will be listed first in the works cited section. So you can see from this example, this is a paraphrase of information from the website, from the website facts.org. The title of the article is actually euthanasia. So you can see inside parentheses at the end, euthanasia is listed in quotation marks. When summarizing or citing a website in general, or if an author or article title is not given, then you use the name of the website and make sure that name is in italics. This website will be listed first in the works cited section. So you can see from this example, Michelle Malkin is clearly the name of the website because it is in italics, and then there is a summary given of her website. I agree this one can be confusing because Michelle Malkin is also the name of the person who runs the website. However, she has named her website after herself rather than listing herself as the author of a website. So you keep the name in italics to clearly show it is the name of the website. One thing to keep in mind is do not put URLs or website addresses in the text unless your instructor specifically requests them. Website addresses are not the first thing a reader sees when they look at the works cited section, so it should not be the signal that they get in the text. So this is an example of a works cited section, and I have cited the sources that I used as examples within this PowerPoint presentation. You can see that it is listed in alphabetical order, and clearly euthanasia is the identifying information for that particular source, and it is in quotation marks, and then the rest of the citation information. The second one, Goldberg, Natalie, lists the author's name first because that is what was given for that source, and then the rest of the information. And the third one, Michelle Malkin, we can see that is clearly the name of the website because again it is in italics, so that is our signal that that is not a person's name. It is the name of a website, and then the rest of the information is given for the citation. So take a minute or two, look at this works cited page, go back through the presentation if you need to and review the citation information, and make sure you also review parts 1 and parts 2 before you take the citation quiz.